All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Steve here with Justin, aka Helsing, and this is his shoot interview. These are the opinions of Justin and the way he sees his wrestling life through his eyes. So thanks for coming out today.
No problem, Steve. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pissed off.
Usual.
I guess so.
Story of your life. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first question most shoots get off with. Where'd you get your start?
Well, I got my start about 5 years ago at MetaView. First match, faced Kurt Taylor, back then called the Prototype, in a singles match.
Cool. Another question they always start out with is, were you always a fan of wrestling?
Ever since day one.
Nice. How many companies have you worked for?
2.
Since your start. What are they?
HCW and BYW.
BYW, where's that?
BYW is located in Pulaski, right near the middle school. It was a small project that me and another friend had started, and hopes to create competition for HCW at the time.
Cool. Any big rivalries or anything come out of there? Any championships you held?
There was one championship we created, but there were really no big rivalries. A few exhibition matches, and that was about it. The people that worked with me there were not committed to the idea of having the organization run smoothly.
Committed. All right. That's a hard thing to come by, is commitment nowadays. Now,
Tell me about it.
And
Kurt Taylor.
Kurt, is he one of the ones that wasn't committed?
Yeah, he used to be.
Used to be.
Used to be.
All right. HCW. Were you there for their first show? Or did you
I was
come
in the first show.
You were in the first show?
I was in the first show.
What was your match?
First show? It was me versus Kurt Taylor in a last man standing match.
Was it for any championship or just
It was for then the HCW championship. We had 2 main championships back then. We had the HCW and the HCW heavyweight.
Nice. Did you win that match or?
Sadly enough, I cannot remember.
You can't remember.
It was that bad.
So many hard hits.
It was that bad.
The name of AJ Devine's shoot interview was A Life of Shaved Pits and Hard Hits. That one. He came
Shaved
up with
Pits and Hard Hits.
Pretty funny one.
Well, if Kurt Taylor were running this show, it would be called Beat Down with Sticks with Small Dicks, or something like that. Nice. I'm really pissed at him right now. I'm ragging on him. I'm just gonna.
I think everybody who did shoots has kind of ragged on Kurt a bit.
Well, you see, the thing is, Curtis is not being professional right now. He's not. He's throwing away his opportunity at golden moments, big matches, and the chance to hold the title. That's why he can't hold the title good.
The ones I've watched, I haven't seen Robbie's or Robert X's yet. I've seen AJ Devine's, and he kind of touched on the point that Kurt's kind of just a mark of a certain superstar, and it's just kind of like what you see on TV is what you see with him.
You see, Steve, everybody here had to start somewhere. You know, there's so many different. Everybody has a finisher. There's so many different ones. It's hard to choose and create your own right now that is effective in the match with. And of course, you're going to have people use other wrestlers' finishers, or modify them in some way that they're very similar. Such as myself, I use a tombstone, just named the Black Widow. But there's a difference in using one move that a superstar does rather than use the whole move set by just giving it simply a different name. Like right now, I can name out 4 or 5 moves that Kurt Taylor does that John Cena also does, such as the FU, a.k.a. the Skyscraper, the Protoplex, which is called, Curtis does that as well, the STFU, the running shoulder blocks, among other things that John Cena does. He also uses moves that Jeff Hardy does that's very common. But I have to give him credit. The last finishing move he came up with, don't know the name, don't care. It looked a little bit iffy, but it's original. I have to give him that.
Yeah. Now in HCW, it's been around for this coming show. It's going to be 5 years in the making at Clash, and you're in the main event. So what are your views on being in the main event of the 5th anniversary? Well,
you see, that's what I am. I'm a main event superstar. I'm going to be in the main event. People want to see me in the main event. They don't want to come and see me versus No Namer. They don't want to come and see me versus Shadow at a match. They don't want to come and see me versus Dougalicious, King Doug, or whatever, Doug Fuck, or whatever you want to call him. They don't want to see me come in and verse the underdog. They want to see me come in and verse names such as Robert X, Kurt Taylor, sadly enough, or AJ Devine, which of whom I am versing all three of those in the Fatal 4-Way, and I intend to win.
Now, you touched on AJ Devine and Robert X. What are your views on them? Or let's start off with Robert, since you've known him longer. What are your views on Robert X? And
well, you see when Kurt Taylor gave Robert X an open invitation to HCW, he sadly underestimated my abilities in the ring, which in Robert X's and I first match, I quickly put him to end with a modified crossface. So Robert X knows who he's messing with. Now, over the past few years, we have clashed a few times, and we have sort of kept this score in between us. He's up by 2, but I'm gonna let him have those. He's a good superstar. He's great in the ring. He knows his movesets. He really knows how to take hits hard and everything. And when you see him in the ring, you know you're watching a good match. When you see Robert X and Helsing in the ring, you know it's going to be a good match. In fact, out of the 3 best matches in HCW, we hold the top 2.
AJ Devine has sent out an invitation to Robert X for the homecoming show, and he has it set in his mind that he's gonna capture the audience and have the best match ever.
Well,
what are your views on AJ Devine? And
AJ Devine, you see, when I first heard about this fellow, I was sort of speculating. He was like sort of behind the curtain guy, giving advice to superstars of whom he barely even knew, of superstars he hadn't even been in the ring with. As a matter of fact, AJ Devine once said before he even got in the ring with anyone that I was a mark as well. And that I remembered that and took that to heart. And I was like, I'm going to get in the ring with him, and I'm going to show him one day. And when he tried to cash in with the championship that first go-around, I pretty much showed him that, I can stand my own in the ring. AJ Devine, he's pretty cocky, but I give it to him. He's devoted to it, and he holds up his character very well in the business, and I respect that. There's not many superstars that you can say that do that. He's one of the few.
Now, he's also wanting to accomplish. I don't mean to get on AJ Devine a lot, but he's talking about the longest reign, which you also hold. So,
yes.
Do you think he could probably hold on to that as long as you did? What was it, 6 months or something around there?
6 months, but that's a second. Robbie has second actually. Robert X 4 months, but touch back on that later. AJ Devine, he can hold the championship, but he's not going to around me.
Around you?
Not that long, no.
So to hold it, he would have to get rid of you. Now, in other interviews, there's been well, not really speculation, but guys have been talking about how you're kind of like, I don't want to say stiff, but you're not really easy with your punches or moves. You kind of go full throttle and put it all into it.
Well, you see, the person I am outside the ring, the person I am inside the ring is a total different thing. They know what they're getting themselves into when they get the ring with Helsing. They know they're going to leave with bruises and bumps, and they should expect that. They should come into the match, knowing that they're going to get bruises, get bumps, they're going to get hurt. That's what I do. I hurt people, and that's what's going to happen.
Now, in HCW, the guys wrestle on like bare ground. There's no padding, no mats. It's just bare ground, and the grass is actually given away where there's been so many moves thrown on it. And you're one of the only guys that actually works without a shirt. So a lot of guys think you're pretty crazy with that one. I was just going to throw that out there and see if you had any comments.
If I may ask, Steve, who said that?
AJ Devine, Robert X, Kurt Taylor, basically some of the guys in the back I've talked to have talked about.
You see, I'm not ashamed of my body like some people I know that work in the business. Therefore, I wrestle without a shirt. I come into the business, like I said, to hurt people, but I also expect to get hurt by people. I want scars. I'm not going to wear shirts. I hate to ruin my clothes.
And somebody, I think it was Robert, said that you're the only guy with a tattoo, so that was probably one of the reasons you wrestled without a shirt.
Oh, I've always wrestled without a shirt, I'm not going to do it on, But, people may say that wrestling without a shirt is crazy, but in my opinion, jumping off a 20-foot ladder like Shadow is pretty crazy in its own way. But, I've wrestled in snow, I've wrestled in rain, I've wrestled in the mid-heat. I'm not like some people who cancel shows just because it's a slight sprinkle outside.
I think everybody that's done a shoot interview has touched on that one a couple of times.
Well, sometimes I guess that rain just hits pretty hard to where you can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. You know, you can go through a table, you can get thrown into a ring post or a 2x4, but God forbid it sprinkle one time, or we have to cancel the whole freaking year. You know, why not go ahead and drop the websites too, so that way the computers don't get shocked by lightning and destroy the world, and Jesus comes and Satan wins, and you know, vampires rule the earth. So, God forbid it rain while we wrestle.
All right. Also, HCW. There's a lot of guys in there that, well, in Robert X's and AJ Devine's, they've talked about. Well, the reason I keep bringing them up is because they're the only two that have done shoot interviews, and you're now the third installment to this. So, what are your views on competition in the HCW compared to the other company you wrestled for? Is it stiffer competition, harder?
Well, I wasn't the organization BYW really didn't last long enough to form any kind of competition. We have competed with a couple of wrestling organizations, such as ENA, Extreme Nonstop Action, and we took a couple of their superstars after we beat them. They sort of joined us, sort of like the WWF, WCW type deal, and we still kept our name. There have been a few factions that have split up in HCW, such as Axe, which myself was part of, due to rebellion and HCW's, you know, booking and everything, and the Superstars' actions, which it was Robert X, Tank, and a few other nobodies who versed Kurt Taylor, and nobodies. And basically they ended with a mutual agreement to where we went back to HCW and Axe no longer existed. But the competition that we have right now is pretty good for as many people as we have. I would have liked to see Shadow get to the main spot eventually, but with his actions and his current status right now, I doubt that's going to happen anytime ever. And Tank, I'll give him that. He's an okay athlete for what it's worth, and he actually makes it to the shows, unlike some people, and is actually devoted to what he's doing, so I have to give him that. But I would like to create initiatives to where new superstars get into the organization. Kurt Taylor and a few people have actually started training women to get into the wrestling organization. But you know, I'm not going to come to HCW to watch HBO late night. I'm coming to watch women wrestle. That's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, some of them look pretty good, some of them don't. I'm not going to mention any names, you know, but
A lot of guys have touched on the divas
yeah.
and the
And
the
this whole prospect of women being able to take men's titles, I do not like that idea at all, because first of all, they don't know what they're doing in the ring. They do it to goof off, and they do it to try to show off in front of their boyfriends. I do not like it one bit.